we wake, hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. Oh, the good times just begun.
Good morning everyone and welcome back to another Jayrocks video. Thank you very much for tuning in. Today is a bit of a different video. It's just sort of a day of gardening maintenance for myself. I'll be taking you around some of the properties that I've got on today and basically, yeah, just seeing what we've got on. It's basically a hedge trim on this first property. I've got a couple of trees that need sort of renovated, pruning, and just some general gardening maintenance, and I just want to bring you along. So in the back of the van here, what we have is I've got the 8-foot henchman, adjustable, like you can see, just fits in by a couple of inches. This is normally what I'll bring with me, so I've ensuring that I've always got some form of hedge cutter with me. I've got blowers, chainsaw if needed, and trimming, and then just general garden maintenance tools on this side. And new blower that's just in, battery blower, so I'm hoping to get some good use out of that today. And yeah, basically take you along with me today. Put in the comments below whether you enjoyed it or what you think. Like, comment, subscribe, it's a massive help. And yeah, enjoy the video. Right then, first job off is this beech hedge behind me. Absolutely love trimming beech hedges. They're just awesome to have. They're very natural looking. You can have them very tapered and straight or very rounded and natural. So nice and green come sort of spring, summertime, and then in autumn it drops its leaves, and considering it's deciduous it goes like this. So very easy to trim, and you can cut them very hard back as well. So we're going to be doing this one today. I've done the front one at the back end of last year, what's just over here, but we've left this because the house is getting knocked down and then rebuilt, so the back's just been completely left. But there's actually 7 great different heights of lawns, different levels across this property. You've got the one that we're sitting on, 2 at the highest point, 3 down here, 4 on that level just over here, and then you've got 1 down the side and 2 around the front. So you've actually got a lot of lawns to cut come spring and summertime. But we're going to crack on with this beech hedge today, and I'm just going to get some footage for you.
Let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright. You and I, we got it. hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright.
Now look at this, this is why I absolutely love roses. Middle of Jan, there's not much other colour in the garden and we still have reminiscence of some beautiful roses. Look at that there, gorgeous. Now these need deadheaded, unfortunately. You know, in a couple of weeks these would be gone anyway as the petals start to fall off. So instead of leaving them, the last job I'm going to do while I'm here today is just go around and deadhead, because these were still all there just before Christmas, but I haven't been back since. So they're just absolutely stunning. And yeah, it's definitely the reason why in my own garden I'm going to be adding some to the collection, but especially this colour, I absolutely love it. Now though, not only what I'm going to do here is take some of the heads off the roses that need done, but I'm going to, instead of just deadheading, I'm actually going to reduce this down just so it goes in line, because otherwise this is like nearly 3 times the size of some of these, and so it's just really out there in relation to the rest of the border. So unfortunately I'm going to take it right down to about there. Nice sharp cut. Unfortunately that gets chucked, although if you're into your propagation, things like that, then I could probably take that home and try and grow it, but I've tried about 6 in the last sort of 4 months and I've not had luck with any. So real shame, absolutely gorgeous, but has to go. And for these ones down here, just deadheading. These have all kind of been sorted out. Quite spacious on the inside, still a lot of leaf there. There's no crossing of branches. That one's coming over a bit too much. I'll take that all the way off. But other than that, these are in pretty good nick. That's what I love about these ones as well, is that the dark green leaf just stays, the foliage stays. So yeah, really gorgeous, something that I'm definitely going to add to the border. Right, so that's that visit done there. That one is actually a fortnightly maintenance, so we come back every 2 weeks and it's usually a 2-hour visit. This one being the hedges, it could have been really anything as long as it took. That was just under sort of 2 hours doing that, cleaning up as well as some rubbish around the back that I never showed you, and doing obviously the roses and a couple of the beds. So in that case, it's just sort of that type of maintenance that you keep on going. Anyone that does lawn care in general, I think if you have the choice and if you have the chance to actually do garden maintenance as well, then getting you through the winter, it's perfect, because you've got the hedges, you've got borders you can keep on top of, picking out any weeds, little jobs that just keep the area nice and tidy for the client. This one is a bit different, as you might have seen, although I've looked after this one for a couple of seasons now. Because the house is getting knocked down, it's literally like 6 months or so being off a construction site. So he's not too fussed about the back anymore. The front one I never actually showed you is the one that we'd be keeping on top of and just basically keep it nice and neat and tidy. So on to the next one anyway, and we'll see what we got going.
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes.
Right then, so next what we have here is we've got apple trees, some fruit trees. So these ones we're just going to sort of be taking all the growth back to where they have done last time. You can reduce these only by about 1/3 if you wanted the tree to go a bit more, but this client likes them taken right back, as yeah, it's getting a bit harder to pick. And then on the other side here, absolute beautiful location, by the way, look at that view. We have these crabapple trees. This large one here hasn't been touched in about 2 years, so we're going to try and just take out any of the crossing branches, see if there's anything diseased dead inside, and strip them out. And then these two, pretty simple enough, they get done every year anyway, so they're just going to be getting taken back to where they were last cut to. So that's all that we're going to be looking to do at this property here. and yeah, get going with it. So with this one, just so I can get in closer, all these shoots that are coming into the centre I'm going to end up taking out, but we've got this branch that's dying back pretty severely here. It's going all the way down, but if I was to take this fully out from the centre, we lose this big trunk in here as well, so we're not going to do that. Today I'm just going to take this back to to above the collar here and get this out the way from the centre, and then we're going to see how this other branch performs next year. So just get started with that. Quite a big one to get out the way, but big shout out to Matty Cooper from Cooper's Lawn Care. He sent me this silky Outback edition last season, just as a little thank you for helping them out on some tips and things that, you know, just general conversations within the community. So thank you very much for that, mate. It's already coming in very handy. But like I say, now that I've taken that out, I'm just going to be going forward and removing any of these little shoots, and yeah, just smartening up the tree. Anyone that knows sort of anything about apple tree pruning as well, you're just kind of going forward. Don't know how well you can see from back there, but any of these little shoots can just come off the tree just above the collar. Nice sharp set of secateurs, and you can take them off. My rule of thumb normally with it is anything that's growing in towards the centre of the tree, take off, because if they go there for too long, they're going to end up causing a bit of havoc, and you want as small amount of congestion within the tree as possible to let airflow through. So this is probably one of my more favoured jobs to do, simply because it's just pretty relaxing. Secateurs work's always pretty nice anyway, not doing anything crazy, and yeah, it's just enjoyable. It's one of them that I really like, so it's one of the joys of jobs like this. But I'm not going to video all of this simply because there's quite a lot to do between all these trees, and I'm here for a good couple of hours, so I'm just going to get on with it, and yeah, I might just speed it up. So you don't want to take off too much, although there might be loads to do. What's all well and good, you take off too much, you basically make the tree absolutely flap, and it'll send out a lot of vigorous growth next year. So this one is just taken back without taking too much, and again, each cut above the collar of the branch. All I'll tend to do with all these ones is I'll work my way around the tree to whatever I can reach to begin with. Anything that crosses over, obviously take out, but whatever you can reach to get into the tree, and then you go from there basically. So I'm sure there is a finer art to it that many may practice, but literally I just cut to a wood that's facing in the direction that I want it to grow to, and if there's anything that's too congested or too much in the way, I just take it out. Like that one there. So as you can possibly see there, I'm just about done on all this bottom side, but there is a lot that's just sort of crossing over, so I'm just trying to thin it out, stop the growth going back into itself, like I said. But I am just trying to reach wherever I can. And please, if you're noticing any wrong cuts, then feel free to tell me what they are. At the end of the day, you can always improve and always do better, so I'm always willing to hear a bit of constructive criticism as I go. But yeah, from what like I say, I'm not a horticulturist, but from what I've self-taught, you want more or less 4 inches between each main stem that's going to be giving off fruit. You want 4 inches between that, basically so you just don't overload the branch so it's then growing into each other. That's half the reason why we're taking out the stuff towards the centre, because you want the airflow to be able to go through it. But yeah, this isn't a how-to, more just on, yeah, bringing you with us today, showing the sort of things that I end up getting into within the maintenance jobs that I end up receiving. And this one again is every 2 weeks. See, that one's crossed over there. I don't know how well you can see it, but it's coming straight over. Because this is a thicker, more dominant stem, you're then going to take away that twiggier growth. Just like that. But yeah, every 2 weeks. And to be fair, an hour of it, if you haven't been able to guess from the back garden, the front's about twice its size. That we end up spending about an hour just of a visit, cutting the grass, doing all the edges, because I trim the edges every single time and cutting the edges so they're nice and fine and clean. Might get some footage of that as well eventually, but that depends if you even like this type of video. Otherwise there's no point doing them. But hopefully it's helping someone. So all I'm doing is I'm working my way around the bottom this way, getting everything I can reach. Anything dead, diseased, dying, deranged, you get cut out first. Anything after that is just what you deem to prune. Okay then, and that's a tree there. So that's this one done. That took me the best part of about an hour and a half. And it's all sort of pruned up to a couple of buds from the bottom. So everything taken away from the centre I've been able to. Took out that branch in the middle. And again, yeah, just a bit of pruning ready for next year. Really don't want to take too much off, first time pruning this one in particular. So we'll see how it then performs next year and make some changes from there, I think. Overall happy. Right, I haven't filmed it because it's much of the same, but that's that one done here. What did look like that one. I'm only going to get this one in today. But this one, he took like 10 minutes, whereas, you know, the one around the corner took an hour and a half or whatnot. But look at this is awesome. Look at all them bulbs coming through. All these are cruxes, I believe, and they've got snowdrops in as well. But they're all popping up everywhere. And this is Scotland, January. But the temperature's just been so weird, and it's meant to get even more mild later on in the week, next week. So yeah, it's all good stuff. Right, on to the next one. So here we go, we're on the last property, so fourth one for the day, and I'm probably going to get caught in the dark. So this is the tree that I'm on about, that keeps on getting in the way, and it's just been left to go sort of overgrown. But what a lovely location this is. Biggest property I take care of, and it's definitely the most beautiful one. So it's about just over an acre and a bit, I think, in total. But these are what I've got on today, is these two trees. I don't think I'm going to get much further, quite frankly, because there's a lot to do here. And I'm only here for 2 hours. So the tree itself is actually full of all this lichen, however you choose to pronounce it. What is usually caused by a lot of congestion in the tree. And yeah, it basically gets overshadowed by all these up here. So it's on more or less every tree in here. So the idea is to fully sort of just reduce it where I can, probably by about 1/4 in height this year. Yeah, probably about 1/4 in height, and I'm just going to completely thin it out, taking out any sort of crossing over branches that you can see. It's all pretty bad. This is the last one that's on for today, and I'm probably going to get caught in the dark. So I'll see what kind of footage I can get for you. On a further visit, I'll come back and probably do some smaller bits of pruning to this area as well. But I think I mentioned it earlier on. Things like this, we're just after a bit of more of a gauntlet shape, everything growing up and out the way rather than how it currently is. So I'm actually going to remove this one. Got a few bits of rotten places up here as well. Always good on these ones as well, to do a bit of an undercut on the heavier branches, because this is going to drop down to my right. I don't want to get caught up in sort of snapping the branch fibres. Like that. Another thing that I'm thinking of doing, if I show you, now if anyone's got, you know, they've done these for a lot more years, you know, feel free to comment on this and let me know what you'd be doing in this case. But I really want to take out, and I don't think I'm going to do it today, this branch here. Now it's the biggest one, I think, going into it, but the problem I'm seeing with it, if you follow it up, it's going right into the centre, and then it's actually the same branch that's growing all the way out, up over, and this is the end of it up here. So it's growing all the way through the centre and then bending right over that side. And I think by removing that, it would open up so much more airflow into the centre. Today, I'm probably just going to reduce it from the top by maybe a quarter, because like I say, something like this needs to be done over a couple of years, a couple of seasons. So I'm just going to probably reduce all the height that you can see on top of it there by a quarter, and then anything else is just removing anything that's tangled or bending the branches over. You can see where they've gotten so big, just the weight of all the apples that all them will have has just been pulling the tree down. So they just need sorted out, and we want it more like a goblet shape, okay, like your hands coming out spread, than, you know, a little droopy willow like it currently looks. I'm going to put my undercut as well, so it doesn't snap the bark. Because that's not serving any purpose that high up. Change it's made already. Them two growing right in the left here on this one. As you can see in the background, we're starting to lose the light. Even the moon's shining just in the distance over there. But what I'm doing is basically, I keep on standing back and really looking at the shape of the sort of goblet that I want. And any branch that's sort of grown all the way down like this one, very straight and almost a hell of a lot thinner than the rest of them, I'm taking off. So just about here, and because I want the whole tree to be growing up the way just a little bit more. I'll just lift that a little bit higher. As you can see, there's loads came off that side there. I've just lifted it on this side, and the top I just need to come back to on the next visit, and I'll take them down in segments. But we've got like 4 huge piles of brush that I just need to get rid of now. That's going to get chipped on a different day. That's all 4 jobs done. Didn't realise it would be so tree related, but here we go. It's just one of them things, isn't it? But I'll put the footage out anyway. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.